Welcome back to the Stack Shack Sports Show. Got the camera a little bit better today. It will get better soon. Got a new camera on the way, so we're just making it work with what we got. But we are starting our discussion of the NFC. We have covered all 16 AFC teams at this point. Let's jump into the NFC. Washington, the Washington Commanders. A lot of changeover, right? New coaching staff, new owners recently. And a new quarterback. That's the big addition for the Washington Commanders, Jayden Daniels. But if you look at the key losses, you'll notice they lost Curtis Samuel, and we talked about him as a key addition previously. But for the Commanders to lose one of their top wide receivers, that can be difficult. They also lost their running back, although that was kind of expected when they grabbed Austin Eckler. So they do bring in a very productive running back, a player that I think is really solid and somebody you would want to bring in to help out a young quarterback. It always helps to have a good run game, right? They also bring in Bobby Wagner. I think that was a big pickup, kind of shore up that defense. The offense, nothing was real pretty last year for the Commanders. PFF really didn't like their defense at 30th, even though, I mean, looking at it from the preseason perspective going into last year, you looked at that defensive line and you thought it could do some stuff. It really was not productive. They end up getting rid of a lot of players at the end of the season last year, kind of saying, nah, we don't need defensive linemen. Got a surplus of those. Let's get rid of them, get some picks. We'll get Jayden Daniels as our first pick. So 4-13 record last year. I think they're going to be much improved. I think with the new coaching staff, new ownership, Jayden Daniels at quarterback, I'm a bit of a believer in Washington. Now, are they going to win the division? No, I don't think so. But you look at the rest of their division. The Giants, I don't think the Giants have gotten significantly better. The Cowboys, I think most would argue, have gotten worse. I lost some weapons. Now, they did just sign CeeDee Lamb to a huge contract. We'll talk about that in the next video today when we discuss the Cowboys. But, I got some questions about the Cowboys. I don't really know that they got any better. And they definitely struggled down the stretch. Now, they did win a lot of games last year and then got blown out in the playoffs. So that's a tough situation. And then you look at the Eagles, and, we'll talk more about the Eagles when we get to them, but they really did not end well. That season, that was a lot of losses at the end of the season, and then getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs. And this is not a good trend for a lot of the teams in their division. So I do think they have a bit of a chance. Now, important games. To me, these are, they're not must-wins, but if you want to be taken seriously, you want to prove that you are taking the leap, you got to win these 4 games, right? We're looking at a 4-13 record last year. Again, I think they're going to be better than that this season. But here's 4 games. Win these 4. They'll win a few others on the schedule, but I think win these 4. So week 2 versus the Giants, and then you also see week 9 versus the Giants. That's your in-division game. The last few years, it's been Eagles and Cowboys at the top, Giants and Commanders at the bottom. And if you want to prove yourselves, you want to take that next step, you got to win those in-division matchups against the Giants. That will solidify them as at least the third, maybe the second best team in the division, depending on how the Cowboys and Eagles play out. But that would be a good boost. Week 2, you also get it early and you get them at home. So winning in week 2, build some of that momentum, get the team really rallying around Jayden Daniels. I think that could be very, very good for the rest of the season. Then week 8 versus the Bears, that's one everybody's going to, I think, have circled. It's going to be fun to watch. Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, 2 new rookie quarterbacks, very highly touted. Teams are in love with them. I think that's going to be a fun game. Again, week 9 at the Giants, got to beat the Giants twice. Say, no, don't put us in the Giants category. We are in the Eagles-Cowboys category in this division. By beating the Giants twice, that'll definitely solidify that kind of storyline moving forward and confidence within the organization. And then I think towards the end of the season, against the Falcons, two teams, Washington and Atlanta, who are going to be running quarterbacks. That this is their first year in the system. Falcons, most likely we're going to get Kirk Cousins for the whole season. But week 17, I don't know. I mean, he's coming off of a big surgery. Could there be some injury issues there? But regardless, Falcons and Commanders, I think those are going to be two of our, shall we say, maybe most improved teams from the previous season. And so you want to show, yeah, Falcons got better. They got Kirk Cousins. They have Michael Penix on the bench. But we got our guy. Jayden Daniels was the right pick to make, and we're happy and we're moving forward with him. So that's my thoughts on the Commanders season as far as their important games. I think overall, I'm worried mostly about the defense. It was not a good defense last year. They lost really, I would argue, probably their two best pieces. Kendall Fuller, a very solid DB, and same with Cameron Curl. Two very solid. I mean, you can go look up how they graded out their stats over the year. Those were two very solid pieces within that defense, and both within the pass defense, especially for a defense that wasn't very good, and I've got very big concerns. So that is going to be the biggest issue for Washington that they have to overcome. I think Jayden Daniels will be fine, but is the defense going to be able to stop anybody? I mean, are we going to be in a situation where it doesn't matter how well Jayden Daniels plays, because this defense was not good last year, and it lost probably its two best pieces. Now, it does bring in Bobby Wagner, but he's not really a fill-in for the safety and cornerback that are moving on. So that's a problem if you're Washington. I would be concerned. I would have some serious worries about that defense. Now, hopefully you can coach them up, but it doesn't matter if Austin Eckler stays healthy and they're able to run the ball and Jayden Daniels is electric and making all these plays if you're giving up 30 points a game, right? And this defense is not looking too hot to me. So let me know down below. Am I overreacting on the defense? Commanders fans, I think you got a serious problem on that defense. I don't know how you solve it. It'll be fun to watch Jayden Daniels put up a bunch of points, throw the ball around, be aggressive, but you're not going to be able to be into that conversation of Cowboys and Eagles that we've been having the last few years if you can't stop anybody. It's just not going to matter how good the offense is. So that's my thoughts on the Commanders. Let me know what yours are down below, and we'll see you next time.